Thank you all for being here. I am absolutely honored and privileged to welcome you all to the Sport Management Summit, which has been a storied event for a long, long time. So I'm pleased to welcome everybody here this evening. Interim Dean Sorber, College of Applied Human Sciences, thank you for being here and for your support of this event. Students, alumni, faculty, staff, and friends of the program. As director of the School of Sport Sciences, I think I have a pretty cool job. A part of that is because I get to come to work every day and share in the vision of building the future of sport. I'm all about it. I'd like to share with you a brief example of that, an important example. Beginning with Bill Alsop, or is Bill, hi, and his ingenuity that was carried forward by Dallas Branch for nearly 30 years, as I understand it. The sport management program has prepared countless students for the sport industry for nearly 4 decades now, which is something to brag about. Craig Walker, who cannot be here with us tonight, was among its first graduates in 1981. These individuals are a foundation of the sport management program that we have today and the successes that our graduates have had since that time. Bill, Dallas, would you please stand so that you can be recognized for your part in starting and stewarding the sport management program at WVU that has been around now for nearly 45 years. Over time, the sport management program has grown exponentially. We've done that through key people, student-centered teaching, innovative programming, new programming, and also just building a community, a strong community around that program. Right now, we have close to 600 undergraduate and graduate students in the sport management program at WVU. Yeah, that deserves a round of applause as well. So many of these students are already making an impact through their real-world experiences, which is a true strength of this program that I've seen over and over and over again, as they go out and they get the industry experience that allows them to be successful in the workplace. And I know I'm not speaking a myth because I have students back here nodding their heads like, yeah, that's for real. What also makes this program so special, though, is also the people. It is alumni who are leading with integrity and innovation, and we have a prime example of that this evening, Jamie Hall. It's faculty who are present, and I can tell you with confidence that we have a group of sport management faculty who are engaged and show up for their students every single day. It's also students who are also eager to show up every day and to learn and to grow. And for all of you that are here, thank you for seizing this opportunity to meet and network and be a part of something that is honestly special. And it's also supporters who invest in the program, who invest in the students. Plain and simple, can't do it without you. This evening, we are incredibly honored to welcome a keynote speaker, Mr. Bill Hancock, who is a friend of WVU and whose legacy is nothing shy of influential and also renowned. We're also proud to recognize 2 amazing members of our Mountaineer family, Jamie Hall, as well as Mackenzie Lynch, who I have had the opportunity of working with as a graduate student, a teaching assistant in the School of Sport Sciences, exemplary with respect to professionalism, work ethic, and showing up and always getting the job done. Before we continue, I would also like to recognize our sport management faculty. So faculty, please stand as I call your name and embarrass you. Yeah, so that's also a part of the job. Dr. Gonzalo Bravo, Dr. Cindy Lee, Dr. Gary Lotsky, Dr. Patrick Hairston, Dr. Justin Wartella, Dr. Johnny Williamson, Dr. Cadeau Gasparetto. And in the fall, we will have another faculty member, Dr. Zach Pedersen, will be joining us from Texas Tech University as we continue to grow in sport management at WVU. So another round of applause for the outstanding faculty members. Another special person that I would like to recognize, he did not come to WVU as a sport management faculty member, but through his various administrative roles, he has had an indelible impact on the growth of sport management, particularly in the online space, because of his incredible vision to sit with the uncomfortable and new in the spirit of serving students. He has improved and grown the network of students that call WVU home, and has done just incredible work, especially in the online space with respect to its innovation. Dr. Sean Bulger, will you please stand so we can acknowledge your contributions to sports management? So this year, the School of Sports Sciences has also expanded its horizons with 2 new partnerships. The first is with WVU Baseball in supporting its brand new 8,200 square foot state-of-the-art baseball biomechanics and performance center. And the other focused on the fast evolving world of esports business and entertainment. So it's these types of partnerships that are going to continue to provide our students with the experiential learning opportunities that prepare them for these emerging sectors in the sport industry, right at the intersection of where sport is ultimately going. And sport management is no exception to being pivotal in those spaces. So really, tonight is about taking a moment to celebrate what has been built. It's also about reflecting on where we are going. And it's about connecting as a network that quite clearly is making a very important impact. So I just share with everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you for celebrating the sport management program at WVU. You are all appreciated. So with that, I would like to introduce one of our fine students, Brody McHumor. Why don't you come on up here? Brody is a first-year master's student in sport management. He has a graduate assistantship with athletics, specifically in marketing. He's been with us for a while because he also did his undergraduate degree here in sport management as well. He's also from Weirton, West Virginia, which I think we decided on Wednesday makes you the definition of homegrown in all the positive ways. So Brody is here to introduce our keynote speaker. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Velker, for the warm introduction. And I want to give a big thanks to all the sport management professors and staff for setting up this incredible event today. It's a true privilege to introduce our keynote speaker today, a man whose career has reshaped the landscape of college athletics through visionary leadership and an unwavering commitment to excellence. With more than 53 years of intercollegiate athletics, Bill Hancock has left an indelible mark on the world of sports. He holds the unique distinction of being the only individual to have served as the first full-time director of the NCAA Final Four, the inaugural executive director of the Bowl Championship Series, and the founding executive director of the College Football Playoff. Bill's legacy is defined by transformative leadership and a deep dedication to student athletes and student athlete experience. From 1989 to 2002, he led the NCAA Men's Final Four as the first full-time director, elevating the event to new heights. In 2005, he stepped into the role of the BCS administrator and later became its executive director in 2009. When the College Football Playoff was established in 2012, Bill was called upon once again to lead from the ground up, negotiating critical media rights, partnering with bowl games in host cities, and overseeing a dedicated staff and managing the selection committee. Throughout his career, Bill has remained focused on the well-being and development of student athletes, understanding that their growth off the field is just as vital as their achievements on it. Thanks to his leadership, college sports have served not only as a competitive arena, but as a meaningful platform for personal growth and lifelong opportunity. Bill's contributions extend far beyond college football. He has also made a significant impact on the Olympic movement, serving as the U.S. Olympic Committee staff for 15 Olympic Games and 2 Pan American Games. He's been inducted into the Halls of Fame for the state of Oklahoma, College Sports Communicators, and the All-College Basketball Classic. And Bill doesn't just preach perseverance, he lives it. A passionate endurance athlete, he's completed marathons, cross-country bike rides, and even mountain treks. His resilience and determination, both personally and professionally, are truly inspiring. He's also the author of Riding with the Blue Moth, a memoir that powerfully captures his journey through loss, healing, and hope. Bill's work is a shining example of excellence in sports management. His dedication to athletes, communities, and the continued growth of college sports is a legacy that continues to inspire all of us entering the field today. We're incredibly fortunate to hear from him, and I'm confident his insights will leave a lasting impression. Now, I do have one thing to mention. Bill is a proud graduate of the University of Oklahoma. And while I'm sure he's excited about their new path in the SEC, we couldn't help but notice that the Sooners decided to leave the Big 12 the same year Bill stepped down from the college football playoffs. Coincidence? Maybe. But Bill, we might have to blame you for that bold move by them. Before we begin, I'd also like to extend a special welcome and thank you to Bill's wife, Nikki, for being here with us today. The support and partnership they share is a beautiful testament to the values of teamwork and dedication that have guided Bill's extraordinary career. Please join me in welcoming the one and only Mr. Bill Hancock.
Yeah, that's good, David. Thank you, Brother. That's awesome. Brody, I am shocked. You mean Oklahoma is in a different conference? What's the deal with that? Somebody better put out a news release about it. Hey, it's a great pleasure for me to be here, and I want to start off and congratulate Jamie and Mackenzie. This is great for you, awesome, to show what you've done and are going to do and what this college means to you. I also want to tell you the connections with WVU. I was thinking about this between the Men's Basketball Committee and the College Football Playoff Committee. Fred Schaus was a member of the Men's Basketball Committee, as well as his son Jim, who I think went to grad school here at WVU. Jim was born here, I'm pretty sure. And then, of course, Rob Mullins, a loyal Morgantownite. How do you say that? Morgantowner? Is WVU grad, and of course chaired the NCAA or the CFP selection committee. All three of those people, wonderful human beings and high integrity, and they're all, and Fred is gone now, but they all happen to be so loyal to this community and this university. So I think that's really cool. I've never been here before. This was a first for me. And now I understand why everyone in college athletics says, you got to go to Morgantown. It's fantastic. And I would go, yeah, right, sure. You know, I've been to Lawrence and Norman and, I don't know, Lafayette and Ann Arbor, and I'm like, yeah, I've been there. I've been to places. No, I had not been to places till I came to this wonderful community, unique community, and you all should be extremely proud of this place and the people that it's turned out. I also want to recognize one of my great friends and a unique leader in higher ed, and that's Gordon Gee. Gordon has been on our board for CFP, and I've known Gordon for 40 years. I knew him back when he was, 50 years old? But I got to spend time with Gordon yesterday, and what a delightful person and a great leader, and he recalled so many things that he and I had done together back in his days at Colorado. So just a great leader and someone to really cherish. Thank Dana, thank Patrick, thank Mary for putting this together, letting Nikki and me come here. Just delightful. And I heard you talk about the new faculty member, Dr. Patterson, who's coming here in the transfer portal. I'm going to talk a little bit about career, a little about the industry, and then we're going to have a little fun because I've had fun in my career. And I loved it. I just retired in February. So my first 74 4 days in retirement have been really great. I have an office at home. Nikki goes to her part of the house. I go to the office and do my work, and retirement's a great invention. I don't know why I didn't do it several years ago. Well, I want to start off and say I love college football. I did go to Oklahoma. I didn't know there was any other sport besides football when I was there, but I love it, but I also love college basketball. And the 16 years I got to spend with the NCAA tournament, I will cherish forever. Just a remarkable opportunity. But when the commissioners called me and said, we want you to come and take over the BCS, and then when they said we're going to have a playoff, they said, I was the only employee. I was the only one. And they said, you got to get a staff, you have to get an office, you have to get computers, and the whole deal. So no one will ever have an opportunity like the one that I had to start off the CFP. Oh, I forgot, I want to mention Nikki, my wife. She's lived at my house for 56 years now. And she loves sports. I married an English teacher, which is great. If you have to write minutes or whatever, or letters, I just take it home to Nikki and say, would you proof this for me? And I married a Shakespeare-aholic. She is the Nick Saban of Shakespeare. So if you ever get stuck on Shakespeare, Nikki's phone number is 913-485-8579. But she loves sports. She probably loves sports more than I do. And one time I said to her, you love football more than you love me. And she said, well, but I love you more than basketball. So, we were high school sweethearts. She was really, really cute. And I liked her best because she was exceptionally smart. To the students, how do you get here? How did I get here? You don't know what path you're going on, for sure. I was a journalism major. First of all, I wanted to be a classical piano player when I went to college. This was my goal. But I found out I wasn't very good compared to all the other people in my college, so I switched over to athletics and had no idea what I would do. Thought I might be in journalism, might be writing news stories about practices and games and teams, and lo and behold, I woke up 50 years later as director of the college football playoff. We were looking for a name for the event and hired a company in New York City, College Football Playoff. And that's what they suggested. Then sports writers speculated that it might be something like College Bowl or College Super Bowl or whatever. But we came up with what we came up with. And so they sent me out on a podium to talk to the media and announce what the name of the new event was going to be. And I said, College Football Playoff. And a sports writer immediately texted, if Bill Hancock had a dog, its name would be Dog. Working with the media for all these years has been just remarkable. Well, I'm actually media. I'm curious, if you don't mind just telling me, what are your favorite announcers? Just holler it out. Who's your? Jim Nance. Saw Jim at the Final Four this week. Any other names you want to mention?
Frank Broyles.
Frank was great. He really was. Frank was the AD at Arkansas and became a TV analyst and really knew the game. He was great. Anybody else have any favorites?
Bill Roden.
Who?
Bill Roden.
Bill Roden, not really a commentator, but he does. He's on TV. Bill Roden's a brilliant guy. We saw him on a bus in the rain. We were at Paris. We left the opening ceremony, and it was raining like crazy. And we hopped on this bus, and I ran smack into Bill, and we were soaked.
Bill Raftery.
Bill Raftery, wonderful human being, great announcer. Yeah. Dick Vitale. Dick is another wonderful human being, and what is the courage that he has shown to come back and keep doing it is remarkable. Here's an indication of how things have changed in college athletics and basketball. That Dick and who does he work with? Sean, I can't remember. But that they sent them to the SEC championship game this year instead of the ACC game. Times have changed. Anyone else?
Well, for West Virginia people, this is radio. Jack Fleming and Woody O'Hare.
There you go. There you go. We work with radio people all around the country, and legends there. How about people you really don't like? Anybody want to admit that? Who drives you crazy? Chris Collinsworth. Anybody else just drive you crazy? Bill Walton. Conference of Champions. Joe Buck. No go on Joe. Joe would be on my positive list. Someone, I did this a couple weeks ago, and someone said Dick Vitale. So Dick got a vote on the one side, and he got a vote on the other side too, which would probably make Dick very happy. So you hit all the top ones. As far as people goes, Reese Davis. Reese is an unbelievable guy, a really smart, good announcer. As far as play-by-play on the ESPN side, I would say Sean McDonough. I would listen to Sean. Well, he's a great hockey announcer, but I would listen to Sean call anything. He's a brilliant guy. Went to Syracuse, and just one of my favorite people. When I worked at the Big 8 office, so it's not all been football and basketball for me. Oh, we had an announcer in the Big 8 named Jennings Randolph. And if you've been around West Virginia a while, you know the history of Jennings Randolph, congressman and for 6 years, and senator for probably 3 terms. Well, his son became a sports announcer in St. Louis and actually called our games in the Big 8. Jay was his son, and he was one that talked to me about Morgantown. And by the way, Nikki and I have just totally fallen in love with this place, and we will come back. We got to go to Cooper's Rock this morning. Unbelievable. We couldn't see anything because of the fog, but it didn't matter because it was so beautiful. And I want to come back there either in the summer or fall. I know there's a lot of folks up there in the summer and fall, but we'd like to come back and see that. Students, what do you have to do? This is I'm going to give a little preaching right now, not for very long though. What do you have to do? 3 things. Care about other people. How do you get to become director of the Final Four or the college football playoff? Care about other people. Pay attention to the details. You just can't move up unless you do that. And third and final, show up. Show up early. Contribute. But man, you've heard that forever. 90% of life is showing up. I'm telling you, I think it's close to 100. Show up. I've just been lucky to get where I got. I had a good career in high school. I played 4 things. I played piano, tenor sax, alto sax, and clarinet. I was not an athlete until I went to college and took up endurance sports because a coach said, "Well, you got to do something." So I took up endurance sports, and it really changed my life. Wound up running 15 marathons, including New York City and Boston. If you know marathoning, 3:06 was my PR, which is a pretty fast marathon for a piano player. And then I did the 2 cross-country bicycle rides. I rode from Huntington Beach to Tybee Island. That was 3,600 miles, 27 days. See, I averaged, whatever it was, 90 miles a day. I drank 2 gallons of water and Gatorade, so I got 45 miles to the gallon every day. Not too bad. And then I broke my hip in a fall in Italy. At the Leaning Tower of Pisa, I fell and broke my hip. So I have an Italian hip. I had to get a new hip in Italy. So I talk really fast, and I use my fingers, and I love fast cars because of my new Italian hip. For me, my career, my life has been a matter of just a dream come true. And if you know who Ray Kinsella was, you know that he famously said in the movie, "I am pitching to shoeless Joe Jackson." And if you haven't seen Field of Dreams, go rent it right now. And this is my life. I have been pitching to shoeless Joe Jackson my entire career, doing things I've never imagined. I've had some funny things happen. We walked into the convention center in San Jose when the championship game was out there. It was cold and wet and rainy, and I like to talk to the staff. And I went in and I said, to the worker there, I said, stay warm. And she said, I will because I have Cheez-Its inside of me. And I said, oh, I love Cheez-Its. And my granddaughter tapped me on the shoulder and she said, Granddad, I think she said she has Jesus inside of her. So, I love Cheez-Its. I don't like Jesus too, okay, but I love Cheez-Its too. Greatest things I've ever seen, the greatest football game I ever saw, the Vince Young game against USC. Greatest football player was probably a guy named Leroy Selman who played at Oklahoma 50 years ago. Just a great athlete. Greatest basketball game, probably, I would want to say Villanova over Georgetown back in Lexington, but I have to go with Princeton over UCLA in the first round. Running that back door, just running it and running it and running it. And UCLA was the defending champion, and Princeton knocked them off. And I think that's the greatest basketball game for me. I was there for Bryce Drew's shot. I missed the Leitner shot. I had another game somewhere else. There were, I bet I've talked to at least 600,000 people who were at the Leitner game. I saw that. I saw Carl Lewis. You can't imagine. And I made a speech, or I got an award, and Carl Lewis was on the program 2 years ago. Carl Lewis looks like he could still do it. And what is he, 60 whatever? He's a track coach at Houston. I saw Usain Bolt. Jiminy Christmas. Unbelievable. I saw Simone Biles several times, another unbelievable athlete. Michael Phelps. Could not believe what Michael Phelps kept doing and doing and doing and doing. My first Final Four was the Magic Bird game, which was 1979 in Salt Lake City. And none of us knew what we were seeing. All season, those two had been at the top. But now looking back on it, it was a moment in history that none of us even realized we were there. Worked with some great people. I mentioned Fred and Jim and Rob. I did get to call the members of the selection committee, the candidates, to see if they wanted to participate. So I called Condoleezza Rice, and she said, why don't you come out and let's have dinner? So I went out and met her at Stanford, and we had dinner, and I said, I was really nervous because I'd never spoken to anyone that famous. And so I asked a friend of mine in Washington what to call her, and he told me. So I walked in, she stood up, I extended my hand, and I said, Madam Secretary, I'm so happy to meet you. She goes, Bill, if you want me to be on this committee, it has to be Condi. So I was acting kind of goofy, and I said, okay, let me start all over. She looked at me like, what? And I said, Dr. Rice, I'm so happy to meet you. Bill, if you want me to be on this committee. So she joined the committee, and she was awesome. She was as good a committee member as we ever had. She was an only child. Her dad wanted a boy. And so he said, okay, I'm going to make this girl into a sports fan. And she's a classical pianist. She was a figure skater and a huge football fan. So she was great. She gave a dinner for us out in Palo Alto the night before the championship game out there. And I got there late. I was going late. They had a driver for me, and I gave the driver the instructions, and it was take him to the Rice dinner. And the driver goes, the Rice dinner, I love Jerry Rice. So I had to say, well, it's not Jerry. But I told Condi about that, and she thought it was great. For my entire career, I have been in the room where it happens. It's a blessing. And I want to tell you, students, you will be in the room where it happens. You don't know it. You don't know what room it is. But you will be in the room where it happens. So just keep on keeping on, and congratulations on what you've done so far, and best wishes for your career. I'm going to stop there and just see, Patrick, I don't know if this is allowed or not, but does anyone have any questions? Questions about anything? Not so much, maybe not global warming, but I can try. Are there any questions?
I always have a question, yes. I'm reading a book right now. It's called Who Believes in You? And it's about transformative mentorship. And Condoleezza Rice is one of the examples in this book. So I've read about her, and she's a fascinating woman. But what I wanted maybe you to touch on for the students' sake is touch on the mentors that you've had that have helped you get where you are. Because they need to find those mentorship relationships as well.
Yeah, mine primarily let me make my own mistakes and learn from those. And man, did I ever make a bunch. Another one, as I watched him, was one of my bosses. And I learned what not to do from him. Kindness, man, oh man, kindness. There's not enough of it today. We've got bullies and people that are not kind, but be kind. Treat others the way you want to be treated. But I think the takeaway is people that let me make my own mistakes and learn from them. And didn't get on me, just they knew that I figured it out, that was a stupid thing to do. But yeah, and that covers coaches, it covers athletic directors, media. Yeah, let them make their own mistakes. Be there for them. You know, you can't let them just totally fail, but man, let people make their own mistakes. What else? Okay, let me talk about basketball selections. I knew this was coming up. Are you the governor?
I just had a question about what you thought about the Neil name, image, and likeness, and paying student athletes.
Yeah,
What you think that?
it's time for me to get out of the business. But what's happened to us is we are now paying the price for decades of not doing the right thing for student athletes. We're paying the price. And my feeling is I don't like it. I don't like the way it's going. I don't like the numbers we're hearing. But they will get control of, they being the conference commissioners, will get control of this and sort it all out. They probably need help from Congress. And I can't believe I'm saying that. But they probably need help from Congress, and they will get help, and it will get sorted out. What is amazing, and you've seen it here at WVU, is the fans are still supporting our teams. Even though they know the quarterback's making $800,000 or whatever, they're still supporting the teams, and I hope they will continue with that. I do believe, and I don't want to sound like a dinosaur here, but I do believe that if the courts tell us that the players have to be employees, I think that'll be disaster. So I hope there's some way short of their being employees. But yeah, keep in mind that we are paying the price for a lot of years of mistakes. But I will say that any athletes in the room, former athletes, current athletes? Yeah. So I paid for my college education. I worked. And I didn't get a free education. The athletes get a free education. And man, there's something to be said for that. And we hear what's happening in football and basketball, and maybe a baseball player or two or a softball player or two. But the vast majority of our young people are students. They love the opportunity to compete. And I hope we never lose that. I hope we never lose WVU soccer. I hope we never lose that. If we do, that'll be a real shame. Let me talk about the governor, because I know it's on your mind. What happened to WVU and men's basketball. I wasn't there, but what I know, because we have this every year, and we got chewed out. We get chewed out all the time. We got chewed out by Florida State on the football side last year, and their attorney general was going to file a suit against us. She went to the stadium and had a news conference. It was totally a PR deal. She was going to file suit, and we had to spend a lot of money writing a response to her query, and nothing ever happened. She found out that what we were doing was totally legal and ethical. Our volleyball person at the NCAA got tons of ugly letters from Hawaii fans when Hawaii got left out of the volleyball. So what happened to West Virginia was just a tough situation. And I know they were this close. And it just happened that the chair of the committee, who could not win, Bubba Cunningham, the AD from North Carolina, couldn't win. If he puts Carolina in, West Virginia hates him. If he puts West Virginia in or Indiana instead of Carolina, then his own fans hate him. He couldn't win. These are all volunteers that serve on these committees. But there was some little thing in the comparison of the two teams that pushed it over in a very, very close debate, I know, that pushed it over to Carolina. And that happens. Every NCAA sport has a selection committee, baseball, softball, they all do, wrestling, gymnastics. And they're all volunteers, and they all know when they get into that they're going to get chewed out at some point. And that's just part of the game. But I've never had a person say to me, Bill, I'm not serving on that. I don't want to do it. I'm just not doing it. I can't stand the scrutiny. No one's ever said that. We've had some great people on football. Frank Beamer was one of the finest gentlemen I've ever known. Tom Osborne, Barry Alvarez, Dr. Rice. I could just go down the list. Mark D'Antonio from Michigan State's coming on this year. Just great people who are devoted to what they want to do and give their time and energy to making it happen. So I'm standing here in front of you as the luckiest guy that I know, because I got to have an entire career in college athletics, and that I'm retiring. So it's all good. Nikki and I are going to Egypt in the fall. I never could have imagined being away for 2 weeks in the fall. I am taking my laptop, Nikki, and I intend to watch games on the Nile. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Anybody have any other questions? Okay, thanks for the opportunity.
Mountaineers, good afternoon. Hope everybody's doing well.
Oh, wait, I forgot one thing. One thing real fast. Who is your second favorite mascot in college athletics? Second favorite.
Bevo. Paul Bevo's cool.
Puddles. 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 Oh, that's pretty cool. Remember when Ugga and Bevo got in the Lewis Tucker? Yeah. That was cool. Second favorite. Anybody else have any candidates? Because the first favorite is about near core, and we all know that. Puddles is very good. All right, thanks. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. Thank you. I'll tell you what, again, let's give Bill Hancock a round of applause again. You can imagine what type of history lessons I have learned for the past 2 days in regards to college sports and just to his career. I'm at awe. You know, I was a student, class. I'm a student, right? And I tell you all the time, always learn. Okay, always learn. And Bill tells me all the time, Patrick, always learn. Always things changes. But the way to be best at your craft is to be the expert at your craft. And Bill is a prime example of excellence. And so hopefully, you know, he has inspired you as he inspired me today in regards to do the best job that you can with what you have. Okay, and what happened? Everybody's career path is different. Okay, but one thing I'll tell you all the time, once a mountaineer, always a mountaineer, and you better believe it. Right, class? Students, you always say it all the time. But in closing here, I know we got to move on. Then the vocals looking at me here, it's like, hey, you keep it going. It's my time to acknowledge Bill as a thank you in the School of Sport Sciences and the Sport Management Department. We want to thank you for coming. And I was put on notice, you better get Bill. What can you do? Get Bill. And so thank you for coming. Nikki, thank you for sharing Bill with us for 2 days. And I want to give you a token of appreciation for us. As I thought, you know, a little bit here, like, what can we do with this bag? a bag that you can have, making go get some coal. You can walk in the fields a little bit, if it comes some coal and some rocks to take it back to Kansas, everything, because this is coal country, right? This is a good bag to take on, But as you look down into the bag here, and one thing that you see here, where we're very proud of the state in regards to our industry and everything, I want to give you the token of appreciation. Give you one of our helmets. Okay, so Bill, you'll come on up. It's a replica, so don't put it on the field. I don't want to have no concussions going on here, but again, the token of appreciation. Thank you for coming so much. Appreciate you. Thank you for your friendship and your guidance in my career. My name tag came off. I'm not a player, but again, I want to thank you. This is one of our cold helmets, where we have it. Yes.
Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will cherish it.
You do this, and now I'd like to call up McKinney's Lynch to introduce the next part. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, I would like to second what Brody said earlier. Thank you to the event planning committee who put this wonderful evening together. We greatly appreciate your hard work. And with that, I would like to recognize one of our most distinguished alumni here at WVU. Jamie Hall, here tonight with her husband, Jarrett, and their 2 kids, Everett and Lakin, is a seasoned sports management executive. A native of Fallensby, West Virginia, Jamie's a true mountaineer who has time and time again displayed her commitment to upholding West Virginia University's values. During her time as a student, Jamie competed as a Division I women's soccer student athlete and earned a Big East championship at WVU alongside her teammates. Hall earned both her bachelor's and master's degrees in sport management with a perfect 4.0 GPA. As an undergraduate, Hall was also an active member of the Undergraduate Sport Management Club, a member of Phi Epsilon Kappa Honors Fraternity, and a volunteer soccer coach. Jamie's involvement only grew during her graduate program, where she served as the Graduate Sport Management Club treasurer, remained an active member of Phi Epsilon Kappa, participated in the Brooke County Retired Seniors Volunteer Program, and was appointed to WVU's College of Physical Activity and Sports Sciences Student Advisory Board. Upon completion of her education, Jamie went on to hold development positions at James Madison University and Colorado State University. From there, Hall followed her country roads home to the place she belongs by serving WVU's Mountaineer Athletic Club for 5 years. Her efforts in key donor relations and special events provided her with a strong foundation to then transition down to the Bayou and become president of Donor Experience and Operations at Louisiana State University's Tiger Athletic Foundation. Leveraging over a decade of expertise in donor experience, athletic fundraising, and event operations, Jamie and her family now reside in Bowling Green, Ohio, where she serves as the Chief Experience Officer and Vice President at LiveSource. Across all of her experiences, she has undoubtedly made our Mountaineer sport management family beyond proud. With that, I am proud to present this Mountaineer statue to our 2025 Distinguished Alumna, Jamie Hall.
Sorry, I was making congratulations, Jamie. I want to sorry. You can name it off. There we go. Now we go. Yeah. Want to move over here a little bit? Yeah, there we go.
That'll work.
Thank you. Thank you, and good evening, everyone. So honored to be here tonight, especially with my family, Jared, Everett, and Lakin. Truly honored to accept the Distinguished Alumnus Award. And thanks to Dr. Lotsky and everyone here that has played a part in this event tonight. I know a little bit about event planning. I know it's a lot of work, so thank you all for being here tonight. It's surreal to be back here at the Sport Management Summit 15 years after graduation, again with my family. It's pretty cool to be back here in Morgantown. With any recognition or honor throughout my career, I owe it to my teammates, coaches, and leaders along the way. I've always been proud of where I come from, humble beginnings in Fallensby, West Virginia, and that's where I really developed my work ethic, the blue-collar work ethic that Nikki Ozo-Brown always talks about. I worked hard in the gym, on the field, around the track, in the classroom,
And I had no idea what I was doing coming to WVU or college in general as a first generation college student. But I knew I wanted the best. I knew I wanted to reach my fullest potential. I knew I wanted to be part of something bigger than myself. So for me, that meant playing Division I soccer. And thanks to Nikki Ozer-Brown and the Promise Scholarship, which was a full ride for resident students in West Virginia, I was able to live my West Virginia dream. Arriving at new student orientation even, I didn't know sport management was a major. I was pre-business and switched that day on the spot when they announced sport management as a major. Just made complete sense, but I was just so happy to be a Mountaineer and continue playing soccer again. I had no idea what I was getting into. But as I learned more about the business side of sport and took more classes, I just realized again how lucky I was to be surrounded by a community and professors and faculty and alumni that care so much about the program and students. I want to specifically thank Dr. Branch and the faculty for allowing me to take 21 to 24 hours in the last few undergrad semesters so that I could use the 4 years of Promise Scholarship for my undergrad in 3 years and then get my master's in the 4th. Without that kind of support and other scholarships along the way, I wouldn't be here tonight. And I'm grateful for all of my experiences, James Madison, WVU, of course, LSU, Colorado State, and now LiveSource. Working for the Mountaineer Athletic Club for 5 years, getting to come back home to West Virginia, and raising our family here for 5 years was really special. We have a lot of great memories. No matter what school I've worked in or what state we live in, we are unapologetically proud Mountaineers, right? Our kids may have been born in Colorado. Lakin moved here when she was a month old, but we lived here. This is our roots. Our families are from here. My husband and I are from West Virginia. We're just so proud. Everywhere we go, we wear the flying WV. Admittedly, I still fight imposter syndrome. I'm not sure why I'm receiving this award tonight, but if I could offer anything to the students, simply just work hard, treat people well, and really anything is within reach. This industry is so much about people, and I've been able to make a career out of that with donor relations and hospitality and stewardship. So just treat people right, your professors, your colleagues, the donors, the athletes, and you'll go far. It can be a really fun business if you love what you do, and I've just really loved creating experiences through sport. So this room full of incredible people here tonight again reminds me how great this place is. Again, proud to be a Mountaineer. I want to thank you again all for granting me this recognition, and it's something that I will remember for the rest of my career. Couldn't be more proud and humbled to receive it here tonight. Thank you, and go Mountaineers.
Thank you, Jamie. Hey, your advice, every time you would come to my class, she would come to my class that when I taught fundraising, and her advice always, and I loved it, was just be a good person. And that goes so well with what Bill said about just be kind. So I take that away, students. Bill, you don't even realize how much impact you could have had on West Virginia University football. Had you pushed for a 12-team playoff when you first got the job with the BCS, we would have made the playoffs in 2007 when we had that disappointing loss to the team a little north of here. And since we would have been in the playoff, Rich Rod would not have gone to Michigan. We probably would have won the national championship that year and gone on to be a football powerhouse. So much so, the SEC would have invited us to join. They would have been begging us to join. And Rich Rod would have won multiple national championships, I believe. And when he finally got tired of winning national championships and takes the head job at the Dallas Cowboys, a guy named Nick Saban would have been beating down our door to coach at WVU. But that didn't happen. It's all your fault, Bill. No, I just want to thank you and your wife for being here, and I want to thank Jamie for bringing her lovely family here, and I want to thank Dana and Mary and Stephanie for their hard work in putting this together. They did a lot of the legwork. Even though it's a sport management event, they did so much legwork for us. But I'm here up here to announce our graduate student. Real quick, I want to just acknowledge our current graduate students. Would you all stand and just, I want to thank you for being here. I want you definitely to meet the people in the room after we get done. I'll try to hurry. We got to beat the 8 p.m. deadline, right? But I am here to introduce our Graduate Student of the Year Award, and it's kind of funny. I didn't know that we were going to have her name in the program and that Dana was going to say that Mackenzie is getting it. So I was like, well, I crossed out Mackenzie and put this student on my, because I thought I couldn't name who it was until we said her name. But anyway, originally from Mount Olive, New Jersey, Mackenzie currently serves as our graduate teaching assistant within the West Virginia University Sport Management Program and as an academic tutor within Mountaineer Athletics. She has also worked alongside the dedicated sport management faculty at West Virginia University over the course of this last semester to grow the program's digital alumni network, which I assume those QR codes are related to that. While she enrolled in the Sport Management Master's Program here at WVU in August 2024, Mackenzie has been a Mountaineer from the very beginning of her higher academic career. She pursued her Bachelor's of Science in Sport and Exercise Psychology with a sport coaching minor and graduated summa cum laude in May 2024 from WVU. Outside of her educational journey, Mackenzie had the opportunity to explore multiple facets of the sport industry during her time at FlexWorks Sports Management. As the senior operations coordinator for the organization, she not only organized over 150 events across the country, but she and her teammates also had the opportunity to personally connect with thousands of children with their favorite professional and collegiate athletes. One of her greatest memories, I think this is so cool, from this professional experience was getting to cross paths and work with former Mountaineer Mr. Geno Smith. Upon completion of her master's program this summer, she plans to pursue a career in academic support services, which I will say this, that she was inspired to go into academics from her brother. Her brother is a football player at Virginia Tech. I won't crack any jokes about Virginia Tech because he's 6'7", 303, and I don't need him coming in here saying, I hear you've been talking bad about Virginia Tech. But she was inspired by his recruiting process, and she's wanted to work in academics, and she's very fortunate to just accepted a postgraduate fellowship with Ohio State University Athletics in their academics. So congratulations to Mackenzie for that. So yes, without further ado, I'd like to announce our Graduate Student of the Year Award to Mackenzie Lynch.
Thank you, Dr. Watsky.
This is yours, what?
Thank you.
A goodie bag.
Goodie bag, yeah.
I'll have to take this to Columbus with me because I grew up a Buckeye hater, so I have to make sure they know I'm a Mountaineer through and through.
One thing I forgot to mention real quick about Mackenzie that really impressed me, this past spring, she was assigned an in-person class, sport law. And I'm like, well, you know, she's only like a year or 2 years older than the student she's gonna be teaching in class, a lecture class. I'm like, we can maybe switch that to an online, Mackenzie. I mean, do you wanna switch it to an online class? And because that could be intimidating, teaching in front of students in the classroom. And I'm expecting her to say yes. I probably would have done the same thing when I was a master's student, but no. She is one of those persons that definitely believes in getting out of her comfort zone. She's like, no, I want to teach in class. It's going to help me be a better person, a better speaker. I'll be teaching. That could probably count and help me for being in academics. So I am totally impressed with that attitude. Definitely a get out of her comfort zone kind of person. So thank you for doing that. And we'll have Dana wrap things up.
I've taken some notes. So, keys to success: care about people, be kind, pay attention to detail, show up and show up early. It's pretty simple rules to follow by. The day-to-day grind is so difficult, but I find that it's moments like these that really kind of remind us why we do what we do, and it makes it all worth it, even the worst of times. I'm so thankful for everybody for being here. I would like to do one more round of applause for Mr. Hancock. Thank you for being here. Jamie Hall, thank you so much for being here. It's a rare opportunity that we have to be with folks and to meet folks that are as accomplished as these industry professionals. I encourage you, students in particular, to stick around, meet these people, develop new relationships, learn something new. I'd also like once again to thank the members of the planning committee. Stephanie Martin, thank you so much. Gary, you are also a part of the planning committee. Thank you. Patrick Hairston, Gonzalo Bravo, Mary Kinsley, Adam Zundell, and Bethany Ackley. To our alumni, students, staff, thank you once again for being here. I encourage you to stick around and appreciate all of your contributions in the spirit of the sport management program. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor Barstool, or Boo and Grace.